Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Na Shochati Na Kankshati Samas Sarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktim Labhate Param. There are some hypothetical prepositions which are the foundation of the so-called modern world, wherein we are simply told that you must love your neighbor like you love yourself, or we should be good to others. All this can be valid only if we have the right foundation, not otherwise. What is that which can make us love everybody in this world? See, this is the basis. We can love that which is the source of joy or happiness to us. And that which is the source of maximum joy and maximum happiness, we love that the most. And that is the reason why we all love ourselves the most, because we are the source of infinite bliss. Now when we are able to discover ourselves present in and through all the things and beings, our love for the totality will be a struggle. And that love, where there is a struggle, it cannot be a love. It will be only an investment. We give it a try. Let us see whether it clicks or not. Therefore, Brahma Bhutaha Prasannatma Na Shochati Na Kankshati. So how do we discover this infinite love? This is the technique told. Brahma Bhutaha. Let us break and transcend all the barriers which are creating a cocoon around us. And when we break all these barriers, then only we can merge with the totality. And that is what is meant by the word Brahma Bhutaha. Brahma Bhutaha means attainment of freedom from the individuality. When I think myself to be a body, all my thinking will be with respect to my body. But when I come to discover that it is the same I which is functioning in and through all the bodies, then my love for everybody in this world will be as natural as it is for myself. We are never told, we are never taught that we have to love ourselves. No need. Therefore, this is the foundation. Unless we discover ourselves in everything and being. This is what in the 6th chapter and everywhere Bhagwan has brought out this point. When he says that Sarva Bhutasthamaatmanam Sarva Bhutani Chatmani Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshanaha. As I told you the other day, the whole foundation of the scientific approach to life is attainment of equanimity and functioning through the platform of equanimity. All the problems are born because of this disregard to the equanimity. If we see our Bhagavad Gita itself, how it starts? It starts with the principle of division. Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kiva Kurvata Sanjaya. My children and Pandu's children, what they are doing on the battlefield. The moment this thought takes possession of our thinking, we cannot love everybody. And thereafter, all that which I consider or include as mine, that is very good. And that which is not mine is very bad. Now what is to be done? There are two options. Either accept everybody and everything as our own, but in the right manner, not the wrong manner. How? There was one person, he was getting down from the train. He took out his screwdriver and started undoing the fan. So the police came. Hey, what are you doing? He said, who are you to ask? I am police. You are stealing. He said, no. Read here what is written. This is the property of the people of India. यह भारतीय जनता की संपत्ति है. I am a citizen of India. I will do whatever I like with my property. This is not the understanding. So we accept the whole world as our own, one option, and for that you have to sacrifice your individuality. See? And therefore this is the technique. Brahma Bhutaha. Now how do we attain that? That is attained only by one method. And the method is, let us find out what is that which separates us from each other. That which separates from each other is a non-existing illusion called as the ego. Everybody talks about ego. But what is that ego? Like the Santa Claus. See? Non-existing reality. I went to Finland and near the Arctic Circle, there is a village called a Santa Claus village. And there the reindeers are there. And when we went to see the Santa Claus, I was with that ochre robe full. Inside it was all woolen clothes. And above that I put on this thing, like a big frock. And when we went there, hello, we met that Santa Claus with long beard and all that. Then the girl who took me there, she introduced, Santa Claus, how are you? No, all standard thing. Then he asked, who is he? He is our Indian Santa Claus. See, the ego is nothing but the summation and the accumulation of our total past. That is called as ego. Therefore, the rule is, shorter the past, weaker the ego. Longer the past, stronger the ego. Stronger the ego, more miserable we are. Weaker the ego, less miserable we are. Now observe this principle in the world. Two children fighting with each other. I was taking care of a school long time back. And there was a clear understanding. Any student can enter my office anytime. That was the rule. So one day, one parents came. husband, wife, with a view to fight with me on some issue. That very moment, these two one boy, one girl, KG2, KG1, something like that, they also came. Swamiji, Swamiji. So I told this parents, I said, wait, I got some emergency. They came and started, Swamiji, no, let me tell first. They started fighting in Hindi. And I said, okay, tell me what happened. Then that boy told, now Swamiji, she kicks me with her shoes. So I told him, I said, hey, hereafter remove the shoes, okay? No, not like that. So, then she said, whenever he comes to the class, he undoes my, the plate and everything comes out and it becomes difficult for me to handle. Why he does like that? Fighting with each other. Now, how will you deal with that? So I said, look here, what is our medium of instruction? English. I said, now you make your complaint in English, you make your complaint in English, then I'll give you the solution, okay? Now both of them could not talk that much in English. They are small kids. At home, only aspashta bolne wale, uneducated parents. So, both of them looking at each other, now how to tell in English. Finally, they say, Swamiji, dosti. See how beautiful it is? Problem dissolved. Now these were the children. Why? Because no strong ego, because shorter the past, no issue is the big issue. Now the parents who came. Swamiji, I have got objection the way you are handling. I said, who cares? I said, you have come here to manage your business, not my business. Why didn't you allow the children to talk in Hindi? It is our Rashtra Bhasha. I said, look here, this is English medium school. If you are so fond of Rashtra Bhasha, take your children and put them into a government school. And they will make good politicians. No, but is it not right that we should have respect and honor for our own language? Now this is how the ego is developed. See? Therefore, when we attain freedom from the ego, Brahma Bhutaha. What is the technique? The technique number 1, we delete our total past. When you start functioning from now onwards, you have no past. If you have no past, you are fresh. That is the reason when we get up from healthy sleep, we feel so fresh. Because of the healthy sleep, you were nobody during your deep sleep. And when you get out of that deep, wonderful sleep, you are no more an old ego. But that experience remains only for a fraction of a second. Again, chai kahan gayi? Shuru. Start barking with a cup of tea. Therefore, na shochati. Now this is a technique, let us try. And how this is done by us effectively, maintaining and developing the ego. Just think, whenever I cross through Shivaji Park, that is the dream of my life. When it will happen, God knows. On the parapet wall, all around the Shivaji Park, it is packed to the capacity. And all the 70 not out, 80 not out, all the batsmen are sitting all around. And they have got their fixed positions. And they are talking, one is wanting to tell his childhood and the other is not ready to listen his childhood. जब हम जवान थे, when we were young, it was not like that. Now see what is happening. The same topic. And the beautiful part is, none of them remember who told what. The same. Only talking about the past. Only talking about the past. See, I have been telling you, I am not going to tell you the technique which are worn out techniques. Worn out technique are, go to the Guru Maharaj and eat his head. No. This is simple technique. Don't bring your past, good or bad, in the present. Don't ask anybody's past for any reason. You will start living in the present. When you start living in the present, you beat around the present bush. If you can do that, you are all the time cheerful and happy. Otherwise, when we had the independence struggle, Jhansi ki Rani ki jai. Hare Ram, Ram, Ram. Let her live wherever she is. Why do you disturb her now? So don't bring your past, na shochati. Now the second aspect. This is spirituality. Please remember. And the second technique, most important, effective. Na kankshati. Don't go on imagine, I don't know what is going to happen. Has anything happened till date? No, nothing is going to happen hereafter. Your existence in this world is without any consequences. Please remember this. When we were not in this world, there was nothing lacking. When we will go from this world, there is nothing that will be missed. All are waiting. The other day somebody phoned me, Swamiji, my, father is very, very ill. I don't know what I should do. I had to go for my admission to US, but he has become very serious. You please not do something. Now you can imagine. You please do something. Now what do I do? Swamiji, you do something now. I said, I pray to the Lord. No, pray for what? Uthao. Please remember this very basic principle of life. Don't bring your past, don't worry about the future, remain in the present, not in a depressed, dejected mood. What is there to live for? Then live. That also they don't want to do. Therefore, live 100%. This is the meaning. Now what is happening? We are not present in the present 100%. All the time, a part of us, rather the majority of us, is going in the past again and again. It is not flashbacking, it is flushing back. All the time bringing that dirt. And those who are habitual of their past, they will go with a screwdriver and take out the past of others. There was one girl with me, now she is settled in US, a German girl. For about 10 years she was with me. So whenever we will go anywhere, I have never asked her till date what she is, who her parents and all that. And she has never bothered also. Anywhere we go, we'll sit. Suppose I am doing something busy and she is there to attend to somebody. Anybody comes, take out the paper. What is your name? Where are your parents? They are united or disunited? Where they are? Why they are? Why you are not married? Or you are already married and broken? With whom it was broken? The whole history. Then she asked me, Swamiji, in India, people ask such questions directly. Don't they feel shy? He said, no, people here are very homely. They can ask anything to anybody. See, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati. The net result is you will be in the absolute present. And when you are in the absolute present, you have transcended the limitations of time. And when you are not carrying the burden of time on your mind, then alone you can be really happy. And a happy person alone can afford to love everyone. A miserable person cannot love. See, therefore the foundation of life is this. So, samaha sarveshu bhuteshu mat bhaktim labate param. Such a person has attained the highest in life, that he is able to accept the whole world as it is and able to merge with the totality. Our condition is like the iceberg. Iceberg is nothing but water, solidified into a strong ego, much more hidden than what is above. Never able to support life like the water supports the life. Our ego never supports anything. It's always destructive. When the same ego is liquidated, dissolves in the substratum called as the water, the same iceberg becomes a place for the other life to sustain. This is how samaha sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. And thereafter, bhaktyamam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tattvataha tato mam tattvato jnatva vishate tadanantaram. And as a result of this spiritual practice, what happens? That mam abhijanati, he recognizes me. See? Be very attentive. We all know this is a waking experience. We all know what is the dream experience. We all know what is the deep sleep experience. And we all go through the experience of the absolute, unconditioned, unbroken, conscious existence. But we do not know this is that. See the only difference. All our spiritual practice is to recognize this is that. Now see, in Mandukya Upanishad, there is no difference between the waking and the dream. There is deep sleep and dream. Because not knowing, non-apprehension of the reality is the sleep, and misapprehension of the reality is a dream. See? Tattvasya agrahanam nidra and anyatha grahanam swapna. These are the two definitions. In deep sleep, we know nothing, utter ignorance. Neither know ourselves, nor the Lord, nor the world, know nothing. Tattvasya agrahanam. And in the dream, not only we do not know ourselves, but we mistake ourselves to be either the body or the prana or the mind and so on. But all these experiences, waking, dream, deep sleep, are supported by a common denominator who is present in the waking experience but doesn't suffer like a waker, who is present in the dream experience but does not become a dreamer, and who is awake in the deep sleep. That common denominator is present in and through all the experiences of our life. that is that. See? Who can recognize this? What will happen suppose I become Brahman? See? Many people have these funny kind of questions. You talk about absolute reality. Is it going to feed the million hungry in this world? You should go and contest election and win the election. This is not your bite. See, as long as this utility has gone into our system, we can never live on the scientific footings. Therefore, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. We come to recognize. Abhijanati means recognition. Cognition and recognition. Cognition means knowing. Recognition means, hey, I know you somewhere. I have seen you. Normally I bluff people like that. One day one person came, one Amma came. So, Swamiji, do you know me? I said, yes, but I am not remembering where did I see you. Swamiji, pakad liya. What is that? I never met you earlier. I said, how do you know that? I have been seeing you through the TV. When you sit there. I remember that. I have seen you. So, first there is a cognition and then there is a recognition. So, we all cognize our existence, but we demand recognition that this is that. The moment you come to discover that, thereafter we stop living as a body, we start living through the body. We stop living as a mind, we start living through the mind. Immediately everything will change. Our vision will go tremendous change. Focal length will be correctly adjusted. Changing the vision is the first requirement. And therefore, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati Yaman Yascha Asmi Tatvataha. Yaman, how far I am. See? How far I am. This absolute I, which is referred by Bhagavan Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he is not that stupid ego. Devaki Putra is not talking. The one who is supporting the waking, dream and the deep sleep and yet is beyond all of them. Yavan. And Yavan Yascha Asmi. And who am I? That you will come to discover Tatvataha. See, Tatvataha. The moment our attention goes to this absolute reality, we can only laugh at our own foolishness, how we were living as a relative existence. That is why the wise people are happy and laughing, and why they don't have ego. Two reasons. They are happy and laughing because they have discovered their foolishness. Isn't it? And they are not egoistic because who will be egoistic of one's own ego? Do you know? I was mad earlier. No, I am not. No. Therefore, Yavan Yascha Asmi Tatvataha and Tato Mam Tattvato Jnatva Vishate Tadanantaram. Next step. This is not an objective knowledge for writing a thesis. Vishate Tadanantaram. This is the knowledge which gets converted into the subjective experience. Yesterday I told you, when the research makes us objective in our understanding, we go away from the self. Here, research. We have to search ourselves, not conduct experiments on others. And when we search, that one which is present in the waking but is not influenced by the waking gains and the losses, which is present in the dream but is no more influenced by those experiences, which is present in the deep sleep, where the experience is only of the total absence. But that which is supporting even the absence, that which is present in the absence, that is the truth. Vishate tadanantaram. Therefore, the more subtly, coolly we keep on this line of thinking, the right way of thinking is to transcend the thinking. When thinking breeds thinking, it is called as worrying. When thinking culminates, going beyond the thoughts, then it is called as contemplation. Chinta and chintanam. Therefore, vishate tadanantaram. And for that, the teacher says, sarva karmanyapi sada kurvano madvyapasrayaha mad prasadadavapnoti shashvatam padam avyayam. So, sarva karmani api sada kurvanaha. Such a person dynamically engaged in these worldly activities, ever rooted in the absolute. Two things. Spiritual attainment is not remaining like a statue. No. Functioning dynamically, the role that we have to play, and yet not getting affected by any relativity that we are functioning through. This is the technique. So, sarva karmani kurvanaha madvyapasrayaha. Then, mad prasadadavapnoti shashvatam padam avyayam. Then my grace, he attains this infinite absolute bliss. Now understand this basic principle. 1. In the relative world, there is not a single problem which has an absolute solution. You try. Impossible. That is why when many people get frustrated of their life and they see us, they bring out their frustration on us. Because we are not frustrated. We don't match with them. You must have seen, a person who doesn't get sleep. It happens in the houses. Bhagavan has to continue this drama. So what he does, he puts two fellows together. One fellow and one felly. And out of that fellow or the felly, one is a bar kumbhakarna. The moment he or she goes to the bed, kharr, 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 and you must have seen these people are not in a hurry. They slowly do. Kharr. And the other one who is not sleeping gets more angry. See, isko kuch sharam hi nahi, so rahe. What is there feel shy about sleeping? Therefore, in this world, there is no solution to any relative things. So such a frustrated person came and he told me, when your Krishna is taking the avatar, I said, you go and ask him. Why do you ask me? He said, no, you are the agent. I said, okay, I'll tell you that. He said, what more bad things are required to happen, then he will take avatar. I said, when it was not there, this world has been always like this. There is nothing new in this world. In the Satya Yuga, there was Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, all those terrible Rakshasas. In Treta Yuga, there was Ravana, etc. In Dwapara Yuga, there was Duryodhana, Shakuni, etc. In Kali Yuga, you and me are there. What is new? It has always been like this. Therefore, please remember, there is only one way. We are in this world like we go to the university. Learn, grow, and get out of the relativity. And then alone you will be able to serve the relative world by getting rooted in the absolute being. Remaining in the absolute. there is a possibility that we can serve the relative. But buried in the load, under the load of relativity and trying to help other relative people is like playing politics. You can never succeed in that. And therefore, here the first principle is this, that we have to get out of the relativity. And once you get out of the relativity, therefore, sarva karmani kurvanaha api madvyapasrayaha. Now, what is the grace of the Lord? Grace of the Lord is this understanding. See, there is one verse which tells Subhashita's well-said statements. Subhashita means, when the Lord wants to help somebody, He doesn't go with a danda in the hand and start helping his devotee. No. Then, subuddhya yojayanti tam. That person is blessed with proper understanding and wisdom. Therefore, here, mat prasadat, the real grace of the Lord is this, that we are able to think with a cool mind under every situation, and that remaining cool in spite of all the turmoils is called as samatvam yoga uchyate. In the second chapter, the Lord told, this equanimity in life, in spite of the disequilibrium all around, is called as the God realization. So, mat prasadavapnoti shashvatam padam avyayam. Then you attain that which is attained by anyone if they follow this technique. And Bhagavan says, it is my place. What is Bhagavan's place? See, this also I told you once, a person came against Bhagavan Krishna. He said, you call him Bhagavan, Bhagavan, what Bhagavan? Getting married 16,000 wives? How can he be Bhagavan? I said, you try to get married once and show that you are happy. He who can continue to be happy in spite of the 16,108 wives around, he has to be Bhagavan. He cannot be a man. Now see, this is what is the Leela of the Lord. Now, all husbands, take inspiration from Bhagavan Krishna. That doesn't mean get married 16,000. No. That means, in spite of so many wives around, he never cried, he never complained, he was never depressed, he was always full of cheer and joy. See, whatever is said in Bhagavad Gita was lived and demonstrated by Bhagavan Krishna in his life. It is not only the words of erudition and scholarship, but these are the experiences narrated to a friend as a definite possibility. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita is Yoga Shastra. Knowledge which can be translated into life is called Yoga Shastra. Therefore, we are not talking about only the imaginations. So, Padam Shashvatam Avyayam. And once you take the stand with which the Lord is looking at the world, the second principle now. The first was, in the relative world, there is no problem which has absolute solution. Now, second aspect. In the absolute, there is not a problem to be solved. No problem. Because what is absolute? Disregarding the relative. Don't we introduce, hey, who is she with you? Oh, she is my relative. Means what? She is not absolute. And therefore, she is giving me happiness, only relative happiness. But normally absolute misery. Therefore, these are the two things. Then, Chetasa sarva karmani mai sanyasya matparaha buddhi yogam upasritya macchittaha satatam bhava. Now for that, what is to be done? Here is another stroke. Chetasa sarva karmani mai sanyasya matparaha. Now what we have to do is changing our attitude behind the action. not the actions. Bhagavan is not telling, put on a chandan or put on a mala and do the jhadu in the temple. No. His words are very clear. Chetasa sarva karmani. Whatever you are doing, remember, every action of yours is done for the sake of the Lord. The moment when the person for whom you are doing, you love, your actions become beautiful. And the real joy thereafter is in doing the job and not in getting something in return. See friends, get these small little points hidden in Bhagavad Gita. This principle I also have told you number of times. Again I repeat because this is summary. We all have no choice but to remain in the present. First. Second, we all act only in the present. We cannot act yesterday or tomorrow. We have to act only in the present. Third thing, if somebody has discovered to be happy at the time of whatever you do, you will be always happy. Those who are happy now, they will never be miserable. Those who have postponed their happiness in the future period of time, those who postpone their own happiness, even God cannot make them happy. See? This is a very simple mathematics. Now take an example. You are all sitting here and I imagine that you are listening to me. I can only imagine. The truth you only know. It is a subject matter. Subjective experience. And here I am talking to you. Now, if I imagine that after my lecture is over, then you will tell that Swamiji, you really delivered the most awful lecture. And then I will be happy. Means what? Now I accept I am miserable. On the contrary, if I am happy now, then you are suffering. Who cares? At least I am happy. And a person, remember this principle, a happy person can never distribute sorrows. A miserable person cannot but distribute sorrows. This is the simple mathematics. Therefore, chetasa sarva karmani mai sannasya matparaha. So when everything that we do for the sake of the Lord, our performance will be unique and the best. Every action will be done as a piece of art. You see, the Gujaratis, when they do the puja and their thali, even that coconut, they decorate so beautifully that you don't feel like breaking it. Isn't it? Because everything is done so beautiful. There is a joy in that. Therefore, sarva karmani. Remember, every action is the worship of the Lord. Doesn't matter what you are doing. If you are eating food, you are doing the worship of the Lord. Lord seated in your Madhya Pradesh. You offer Him. So, chetasa sarva karmani mai sannasya matpara buddhi yogam upashritya. And what is the yoga that we have to practice? The yoga of common sense. Buddhi yoga means yoga of common sense. I told you my Hindi commentary is coming on Bhagavad Gita. The second chapter has come out. It will come whichever way the Lord wants. I don't care for that. And the name of the commentary is Common Sense Upanishad. The second volume has come out first. Because common sense. Do you know why? Why the second volume first? The shortest unit of time is second. Isn't it? So we say, when the first second is over, how can you say first second? We don't call it first, we call it second. Why this is? Because of this, the second chapter is published first. First will come later. So, this is simple common sense. What is that? Buddhi yogam upashritya. And what is the common sense? These are common sense sutras, like you got Brahma Sutra. I have written common sense sutra. The common sense sutra is, he who becomes miserable because of anything or anybody, he is fool of the highest order. Nobody can compete with him. Never, never, never promote, submit yourself that you are a miserable being. Refuse. How important it is. Then what will happen to the misery? Distribute. Make others miserable. Swamiji, this is very bad. You try. You don't remain miserable. Friends, when you don't remain miserable, you can never make others miserable. Therefore, this is the common sense. Buddhi yoga upashritya. See, all spiritual practice is this common sense. Expecting the other people to change. Common sense. How it is common sense? What are we? We are the victims of our mind. What are others? They are the victims of their mind. Now one victimized is trying to control the other victimized. And as a result, both of them are victimized. It can never happen. See, we say, why the children shouldn't do, why look at yourself? When we were children, have we gone to the Gita classes? No. And we have seen those who have gone to the Gita classes, during the childhood, they become abnormal. They are not able to lead a normal life. There was one Gujarati boy, once he came and met me. And a young boy, he has just passed his 12th standard. And he came and he said, Swamiji, to transcend the body, mind, intellect complex and erase the vasanas and come to realize the meaning of Om, what is the spiritual practice that we have to undergo? When he asked me this question, I said, have you smoked any time? He said, no. I said, unless you do Agnihotra, you cannot go to the next step. Please remember, life is to be lived fully. Don't make a caricature of your own personality. I have seen, I am telling you, not out of imagination. There is one girl, right from childhood, her parents have somehow got into her head. She is very pious, she is very goody-goody, and she is very nice, and she doesn't like dressing properly, she is a very simpleton Dumbo, and she doesn't look here, she doesn't look there, and that foolish girl started living in those imagination of being holy, pious, holy, pious. Slowly, slowly, instead of leading a normal life of a bird opening in the rhythm of the beauty of natural unfoldment, she has become a psychological wreck. Who is responsible? Anybody else? No. Therefore, buddhi yogam upashritya. Don't go in such a wrong manner that your life is created as a burden on you. Live with the common sense. Buddhi yogam upashritya. Then machitaha satatam bhava. The main idea is only one. That you remain cheerful, peaceful, happy, undisturbed. The things are going to happen up and down. There is nobody in the whole universe who has not done anything good or anything bad. In the relative world, good and bad exist together. When I call somebody as beautiful, I have already created an ugly face. When I call somebody as rich, I have already created a poor person. When I call somebody an educated one, I have already defined an illiterate one. See, this world is only in the relative plane. And in the relative plane, there is no absolute solution. Get out of it. This is the common sense. Otherwise, all the time, I don't know what I should do. There was one person who came in Haridwar. I was with so many people, and in that Harki Paudi, we were taking bath in the Ganges. I used to hold everybody, take the lota of Ganges, and Om Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapan Sabhumim Vishwato Vrutva Atyatishta Dajangulam. Everybody was given a Abhishek. All were Shivalingas. Now, when that was going on, one person, he was watching from there, and he said, excuse me, are you Swami Anubhavananda? Because there I was, wet and in the river and only this much portion. The normal, figure was not. I said, any objection or what? He said, no, I have got a doubt. I said, Ram, here also in Ganges, holy doubt? I said, get in. And he immediately undressed and got into the room. He said, Swamiji, I have got a big problem. I said, don't tell me your problem, please. Now remember your problem. And I will put your head below the waters. Till you can hold the air inside, hold. And when you can no more hold, then you give a jerk and come out. And that time, when you are inside the water, remember your problem. And slowly breathe out from the right nostril, not from the left. And in that manner, that problem will be washed out from your system. Do it 3 times. So I did it 3 times. And I said, now hereafter don't talk to me, dress or undress and get out. He went. Again after 6 months or so, somewhere on the airport he dashed me. Swamiji, do you remember me? I said, no, I don't remember even God. I want to remember you. No, I came there, in that Ganges, and I said, yes, I remember. What is that? From that moment onward, all my problems. I said, Ganga Maiya ki Jai. See, we are all carrying unwanted load on our mind. See, please remember this principle. Don't get carried away too much. Nachiket tells in Kathopanishad, Anyatra dharmat, anyatra dharmat, anyatra smat kruta krutat, anyatra bhutaccha bhavyaccha, yat tat pashyasi tadvada. Oh Lord, kindly tell me something better than dharma. Enough of it. Then kruta krutat, cause and effect. Another foolishness of the intelligent people. And anyatra bhutaccha bhavyaccha. Don't trace me back in my past. I think in your last life you were a donkey. Isn't it? Therefore defeated in this election. Please remember, don't get into that. The world has always been like this. And once you understand this principle, that we are eternally, basically, divine, absolute reality. Hold on to that. That is the way. Otherwise, again and again, I don't know what I should do. I have done this sin, I have done that sin. Now what I should do? You confess before me. Like, the doctors have, psychiatrists have got their fees. Mahatmas have got confession fee. And after that, the Mahatma will snatch away so much money from you that that pain will disappear. And this pain will start. He has taken too much of money. Like, the tiger balm treatment, your headache doesn't go. burning start, and then you feel, I am relieved of the headache. There is only the replacement of the pain. Buddhi yogam upashritya. Live with a simple common sense. And macchittaha satatam bhava. Fix your mind on the Lord. Good and bad, everything offered to Ganges. About the past, we can do only one thing, forget. Drop. Apply this principle. Take money from the people. Forget. He will remember. You don't have to. No, Swamiji has told me, I am his disciple, very pakka disciple. I have forgotten everything that he has taught. Therefore, I never grow. So, now a person who is thus rooted in the absolute vision, mat chittaha sarva durgani mat prasadat santarishasi atha chet tvam ahankarat na shroshasi vinangshasi. Now the teacher says, the ultimatum, unless you change your standpoint, there is no way out. No way out. And what is the standpoint? Atha chet ahankarat na shroshasi vinangshasi. If out of your arrogance and ego, if you don't accept this principle, you will be destroyed. And what is that principle? The principle is this. In the relative world, there is no solution to any problem. In the absolute reality, there is no problem to be solved. So if you want to get out of the problems of your life, get established in the absolute truth. There is no second option. And if you do not accept this, tera satya naas ho jayega. Bhagavan said this sentence not in English. So far he was talking in English. See, atha chet tvam ahankara na shoshasi vinangshasi. Why we don't accept certain things? Only because, this is another important principle, only because we have been holding on to some kind of notions about everything in our life. Like, here in our Bombay Girgaon, there used to be a great Mahatma, Nisargadatta Maharaj. He has influenced my mind a lot. He so straight hitting the bull's eye. No more beating around the bush. Straight away. What is that? When somebody will go to him, Maharajji, these days, the corruption has increased, the values are falling down, the children are going left and right, the parents are not responsible. What is going to happen to our society, our culture? He used to say, this material is not available in my shop. Go to other shop. See? All those people who spend their life under the disguise of teaching for these things, they are only collecting the crowds, because crowds have only this theme. The one who is holding on to the truth, he alone can talk about the truth. Therefore, he will never get a huge crowds around Ramana Maharshi. When the same great master, Nisargadatta Maharaj, when he was suggested by his devotees from all over the world, Maharaj, this is such a small place, people can't even sit here. He used to say, stand up then. No, but they can't even stand up. Then they need not come inside, stand outside. Very clear. Don't get lost in any kind of sampradaya, any kind of channel. Keep yourself one with the totality. See? That is important. Otherwise, we'll get lost. This guru, that sampradaya, nobody comes with you anywhere. Because you go nowhere. You are beyond time and place. Hold on to this one reality. And to hold on to this reality means what? Play the game of life. So in this game of life, on the stage of life, you are told to do this drama beautifully. So seriously, as if you are really crying. Let the audience cry and you enjoy. Bewakoof banaya. See, this is the meaning of abiding in the Absolute. And if you do not take this course of life, you will be all the time threatened. What is the threatening? If you do this Guru Droha, you will go to hell. Then they will tell stories. What is the story? If God you hurt, or if you do the Deva Droha, if you have insulted the God, if you have committed something wrong to the God, Guru can come and help you. But if you have not obeyed your Guru Maharaj, there will be nobody to help you. One person came and told me this, therefore I am telling you. Then I said, you understand Hindi? He said, yes, Swamiji, mujhe achhi Hindi aati hai. I said, have you seen Hindi cinema sometime? He said, sometime. I said, I am a born Hindi cinema lover. I'll tell you the highest wisdom with relation to this problem. Guru Maharaj, when he becomes angry, nobody can save you. जब कोई तुम्हारा हृदय तोड़ दे, तड़पता हुआ तुम्हें छोड़ दे, तब तुम मेरे पास आना प्रिय. देखो, डर डर के कुछ नहीं होता. See? In the story of Birbal and Akbar, Akbar says, God is great or I am great. So Birbal says, Maharaj, Jambana, you are great. How come I am great? Because when you are angry, you can push somebody out of your kingdom. When God is angry, He cannot push anybody anywhere, because everywhere He alone is. See? Therefore, all these are the gimmicks to hold the crowds. Don't get into it. Hold on to the Lord and live that knowledge every moment. The Sadguru is that Sadvastu in you, and you are that. Atmaiva Atmano Bandhu, Atmaiva Ripuratmanaha. Hold on to this. Then see the joy of life. So, Yadi Ahankaram Ashritya no Yotcheti Manyase, Mithesha Vyavasayaste Prakriti Swam Niyokshati. Arjun, you are a puppet and a victim of your own nature. Whatever you have been living in the past, that will not go away so easily. The best way is work it out. Because your whole life, you are fighting the wars. Those who have been all the time fighting the elections, ask them not to contest. Impossible. We'll make a separate party and contest. See? Because they can't stop it. In the same manner, Nithesha Vyavasayaste Prakriti Swam Niyokshati. Your Prakriti, your Swabhava is such that you cannot stop it. And this is what we see many times, people come to the ashram. Swamiji, shall we come and stay in the ashram? Please come and stay. And the first thing, is there any, objection if we use our mobile phone? First question. Second thing, is the newspaper coming? Can we see the daily update of the news? Can we call our friends once in a while for a lunch or a dinner? In short, can we make the ashram a public place, a hotel? Why do you come? See, for a change. They tell very simply. So, Mithesha Vyavasayaste Prakriti Swam Niyokshati. This is how you will see many Mahatmas go into business. This is the reason. If you want to see the Mahatmas going into business, you can go to Haridwar, Rishikesh, many ashrams. You Grihasthas are far, 100 million times better than we. You go and buy half a kilo of lady's finger. We establish ashrams and go and buy half a truckload of gents' fingers. Gajar. Nothing else. All the time worried about the same thing. There is no funds and I don't know. We have to construct that thing. Ram. See? A mega grihastha is a Babaji. Because Swabhava, better get married and suffer rather than making everybody suffer. Me, I have decided, to open a school and I am worried about it. What is the worry? How to collect funds. Then go and putting hands in somebody's pocket. Beta, tumhara bhala hoga, lao paisa. Krishna. Because Swabhava, we cannot get out of it. Therefore, Mithesha Vyavasayaste Prakritistam Niyokshati. In Haridwar, Rishikesh, you will see come across some of the pan shop hotels like that. Sadhu pan bidi shop. When you go to Shirdi, there is a place Nasik, and when you turn from the big round, there is a corner hotel called as Dwarka Hotel. And there is a panwala. I always go and eat pan there because I get free. And do you know why? That panwala is a Babaji. So he says, Swamiji, when you come, I am so happy. Pat. And with that love, I eat. Very difficult to get rid of the Swabhava. Therefore, Swabhava jena kaunteya nibaddha svena karmana kartum nechasi janmohan karishyasya vashopitat. How long are we going to suppress? If our Swabhava is exhausted out. And therefore, Swabhava jena, by our own Swabhava, we were told, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, these are the four Swabhava. With that, we are extremely influenced. And therefore, what you think that you will not do mohan, karishyasi avashopitat. Now see, when a person is, let us take, a Vaishya pravrutti, and if he becomes, let us take, a minister, he will make a business out of his chair. This is how there is something called as horse trading for keeping the government in the stable. Isn't it? I don't know whether it is a horse trading or donkey trading, but something, the same species. Therefore, let us understand all these superficial things are to be fully exhausted and brought out. And the teacher goes further. Ishvaras sarva bhutanam ruddeshe arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra arudhani mayaya. Now here, a very deep principle is hidden. On the basis of this verse, Duryodhana the Great, he says, Janami dharmam nacha me pravrittihi, janami adharmam nacha me nivrittihi, kenapi devena vridhisthitena yatha niyuktosmi tatha karomi. Oh Lord, I know what is right, but I never do that. I know what is wrong, but I always do that. Do you know why? There is some God seated in my heart. He makes me do like that. We are all expert in blaming everybody. When there is nobody available, God, freely available. Sarvavyapi. For everybody available. Now here the meaning is different. See, if you place a cassette in your cassette player and start, and if a terrible music comes out, will you blame the electrical energy? Will you blame that machine, the cassette player? No. Will you blame that cassette? No. The recordings. So what is to be done? Rewrite. So on that cassette, instead of playing the cassette and dancing to that tune, start rewriting your own cassette. And then change the contents of your own mind. That is what is called as the spiritual practice. Therefore, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hruddeshe Arjuna Tishtati. Hey Arjun, everyone is carrying with him his own software and the data. The moment you put only what is there, that alone will come out. Nothing else will come out. And therefore, Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani Yantra Rudhani Maya. Like a person sitting on a giant wheel, when the wheel moves, the movement of the wheel definitely start influencing the person who is sitting on the wheel. In the same manner, when we are so much under the influence of our own past habits, the same thing will come again and again, again and again. The total of our habits is called as ego. We are all the victims of our habits. You know about the habit, H-A-B-I-T. If you remove the H, a bit remains. If you remove the A, bit remains. If you remove the B, it remains. If you remove the I, T, the habit of T remains. It never goes. We have to change slowly and steadily. And for changing ourselves, the Lord creates situations around us. See, if we interact properly in life, we will change. But if we take the situations provided to us by the Lord as the grounds for self-improvement, and if we look at them as obstacles and problems, we are going the wrong way. This question we have discussed long time back. If somebody wants to be first in the university, what is the first requirement? Normal people will say, he should study hard. He should appear in the examination. First requirement. Every moment of our life, take it as an examination. When you take something as an examination, it is a challenge. It is not a problem. See? Convert every situation from the problem to the challenge, and then ride over the problem and grow spiritually. But when this is not understood, we become the victims of our old habits. The same thing we continue. And then I know, sugar I should not eat. I am becoming more sweet, but what can I do? Whenever I see this sugar, I can't stop. Afterwards I feel very bad. Then I go on poking myself as a sin. I go and give the praise. Can't we have that much control over ourselves? It is we who have to decide. Nobody can help us. And those who do not have control over themselves, they are worse than the animals. And therefore, the real scientific way of living is, get out of your weaknesses, discover your strength. Then you are the master of the ceremony, and not you are the victim of the situation. And it is possible. It is not impossible. And once we are committed to live this knowledge, then sky is the limit. How this is, what this is, this we'll take in our next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om.